Hi everyone, I am so excited to spend some time with you right now at the beginning of summer so we can talk about some organizational tips and tricks for speech pathologists like yourself. Let me start by telling you a little bit about what our training is going to be. So in this training, we're going to learn some tips and some tricks, and we're also going to learn a little bit about to-do lists because to me, these are some of the most important things for getting us organized, being productive, and getting things done. Let me tell you a little bit about myself before we get much further. My name is Cherie Chin, and I'm a speech pathologist. I have been practicing speech pathology since I graduated in December of 2000. I have spent most of that time in an elementary school setting, although I also have done some private practice. I've worked some rehab, and I've worked in a health clinic as well. I have a popular store on Teachers Pay Teachers called Superpower Speech, and I have possibly the longest running blog meant for speech pathologists in the world. So if you want to check me out, please go and do so at your leisure. Also, I am a doctoral student. I have been taking classes towards my doctorate degree. I just want to start us off with a little bit of inspiration. This one's from Benjamin Franklin. For every minute spent organizing, an hour is earned. That's pretty powerful, right? So let's learn a few tips and tricks. The first thing I want you to do is think about your work goals for the coming year. So there's going to be four main things that we're going to talk about here. The first is that I think it's really important to choose some themes that you're going to use during the year. Second, I want you to start preparing for that very first week of school. Third, I want you to create some homework. Now, this can be generic homework that you use with all your articulation students, all your language kids, all your social skills kids, or it can be really, really specific, like kids who are working on irregular past tense. This is the homework that they are going to do. And last, I want you to set aside 1 hour per week for the remainder of summer to start getting prepared for your school year. Now you might think, what good is an hour? Well, you're going to find out 1 hour per week for the next weeks until you start school is going to make a huge amount of difference at the beginning of the school year. Okay, let's start off. First, we're going to talk about themes. So I love themes. They give me an idea of how I'm going to do my lesson planning. They give me an idea for homework. They give me an idea for progress monitoring. Themes to me are really important. So here are some ways that you can start organizing your themes. You can use some Pinterest boards to organize them by themes. I think Pinterest is fabulous for that. For example, I do my themes by season. To me, that's just an easy way to do it. So in the fall, I organize all my fall things into one Pinterest board, and the winter the same, spring and summer as well. And then from there, you're going to start actually collecting some of those things in your Pinterest board. You're going to buy things if you need to. You're going to download freebies. You're going to find things, and you're going to start making materials for those different themes. Okay, so the next thing I really want you to start thinking about this summer is how to prepare for your first week of school. Now, most people don't start, right out the get-go planning their therapy to begin on day one. First, you got to meet the kids, you got to do some progress monitoring, you got to introduce yourself. If you're new to the setting, you're going to have to send home letters. Even if you're old to the setting, I tend to send out letters to my families. These are the things that I want to have done before that first week of school so that they're ready to go. First, I like to have a welcome letter, and that is for the parent to let them know who I am. I like to include a picture so that they can see me, and if they walk by me in the school, they're like, oh, I know you. You're going to be my kid's speech therapist. I like to have some kind of positive behavior plan. For the last many years, I've been doing a plan where they're earning speech money towards a party in the speech room. You might want to have it that they're earning, a chance to play a game, or they're earning a candy, or some people even do a prize box. Those are different things that you're going to want to think about ahead of time before that very first week of school. You're going to want to have your rules and expectations already set up, right? Have them posted around your room, include them in the letter you send home, talk to your kids about them on the very first day of speech so they know what to expect. And you're going to want to have some kind of activity ready to go that's a get to know your goals activity. The number of kids that come into speech therapy and you ask them, what do you work on in speech? And they look at you and they go, games, right? And you're like, we've been working on this for 3 years. How can you not remember? Well, these kids have a speech and language disability, and sometimes remembering what their goals are is part of that disability. So you need to get them acquainted. What are they working on? Work on those metacognitive skills so that they're ready to go right from the get-go of, oh, I'm working on vocabulary, or I'm working on how to speak clearly, or I'm working on my R sounds, any of those. But you need some kind of activity to just get you going. Okay, next tip I want you to work on for the school year is doing some homework. Now, again, you can create some generic homework for articulation and fluency students. This is pretty easy to do on your own. There's lots of generic free homework you can find on Teachers Pay Teachers or on Pinterest or on the internet in general. You also should probably get together some pretty specific homework for language and social skills students. And the reason I say that is because your language kids aren't going to have one homework of tell your parents something you did today. Right? If you're going to do a really generic language homework, I would hope it's centered somehow around storytelling or literacy in some way like that. But I like to have language homework and social skills homework that really focus on language, grammar, vocabulary skills. So here's an example that you can see in front of you of one of my language homework sheets. I have them leveled so that kids who are working more at kindergarten, first grade standards are going to be working on different things than my 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. Okay, remember that 4th thing? We are going to have you do 1 hour per week of getting ready for the school year. Now, you might think, oh, sure, I can do that, no problem. But you know what? I know from experience, you are not going to do that unless you put it in your calendar right now. Okay, so as soon as this video is done, I want you to set aside 1 hour per week and put it on your calendar. So maybe it's going to be Tuesdays, and you're like, every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, I'm going to be working on getting ready for the school year. And then what you're going to do is you're going to write down exactly what you're going to do on each of those Tuesdays. So an example here is you might write a welcome to speech letter on one Tuesday. And then on another Tuesday, you might figure out what you're going to do for a get to know your goals activity. And then on another Tuesday, you are going to figure out what positive incentives you're going to do. And then on another Tuesday, you're going to start organizing your Pinterest boards around your themes, whether they be seasonal or be just things that you're super interested in. So every Tuesday for the remainder of summer, or any other day of the week, you're going to have 1 hour set aside to actually work on those things. Because if you work on those things this summer and you actually choose them and know exactly what you're going to be working on, you're that much more likely to actually accomplish your goal. Okay, so those are the things I want you to work on in terms of work. Now, we're going to switch gears a little bit and we're going to talk about some personal goals to make you more organized this summer. These are some things that are going to help you have a better summer and a better back to school transition into life. So here are a few suggestions that I have for you regarding personal goals. 1, make some frozen meals and take one thing off your plate from when the school year begins. 2, get healthy now while you're not around the staff room. This is a great time to be exercising every single day while you're avoiding the staff room treats. Get yourself really healthy now because you're going to function that much better in the school year if you're a healthy you. And number 3, maybe your goal is to catch up with some people that you don't see very often. As we all know, feeling good about our social life and feeling good about ourselves makes such a big difference to us in the school year and keeping up that personal morale and keeping ourselves more healthy. So those are some of the goals that you could consider for next year. Here's what it might look like. Okay, making frozen meals. One thing you can do is just find a whole bunch of recipes online or use your own. I like to find my favorite recipe and then like quadruple it, and then I freeze all the portions of it. Another way to do it is prepare a month's worth of healthy meals in advance. Now, that's a big project, and I know a lot of you are not quite ready to do a whole month's worth. I've done it before. It's a lot of work, but it is absolutely amazing when that month comes and you don't have to worry about your meals for an entire month. Okay, get healthy, right? Begin an exercise program. Do a cleanse or some kind of healthy eating program. Work on your sleep. I know you need to sleep some more, so catch up now while you can. And of course, you need to drink lots and lots of water, especially in the summer if you live somewhere hot. Catch up with people. Maybe you want to make a point to see as many non-work friends as possible. At work, you get to see the friends possibly every day. But what about all those other people that you haven't seen so much this year, but they're actually really important people in your life? Also, spend some time with your family, whether that be the people that you live with right in your home, or maybe it's your extended family, like your parents, or your sisters and brothers, or your aunts and uncles. Spend some time with them during this time of the year as well. Okay, I got another tip for you. Map out your room. You're like, what? Well, if you know where you're going to be next year, what your speech room is kind of going to look like, and what the furniture is probably going to be, you can draw your room and plan out where the furniture is going to be. Also start considering where might you want to move furniture if you've been in that room before. What I found was this was really helpful when I wanted to make a change, but I just wasn't sure what I wanted that change to be. Instead of having all the big, heavy furniture with me, I could just draw it out and make approximations and figure out, where do I want my table to be this year? Where do I want my bulletin boards to be? What are the things that I can't move no matter what, like where my closet is, or if you've got a sink or a door or anything like that? Okay, create some organization pieces. Now, these are fabulous like crates or bins or drawers or anything like that that's going to keep your stuff organized. So here you have an example from Maureen from the Speech Bubble of how she organized some crates so that things are easy to find and ready to go. I like to do mine in drawers because I have a bunch of drawers in my room. Also, you can do this in cubbies. You could do these in little boxes. There's so many ways to do this. But if you get it ready this summer before you even go back to school, then all you have to do is walk in the room with your new crate, your new whatever it is, and start putting those things in. So it's really easy to organize. Okay, sketch your walls. This has to do with mapping out your room, actually. I want you to be really intentional about what is going to go up in your room. So in my opinion, a room that is too bare is really boring and unmotivating. However, a room with too much stuff is totally overwhelming for your students. I like my room to be clean, to have a few things up, and those few things, I really want them to apply to everyone. So I'm not going to have a poster about irregular past tense if only 10% of my caseload is working on irregular past tense. But I will have a poster about what are the rules for the speech room, and I will have a poster for what makes you a good communicator, and I will have a poster for what are the incentives to actually work hard in speech. Also, consider something new. If you've been doing this a long time like I have, maybe it's time to just mix things up. Or maybe, as in my case, your administrator every once in a while is like, yeah, we're not going to do things that way. We're going to do them this other way this year. So that's when you need to start going, what can I do differently and how am I going to do it? Some ideas are, you might want to spend some more time merging into the general education classroom. You might want to create a speech club. Or you might want to consider co-teaching with your special education teacher. So here's some ways to do that. Merging. Here's my advice if you're new to merging. First, choose one great teacher, someone you really work well with. Now, this might be your BFF teacher friend, or it might just be someone that you just work really well with. And they're like, yep, I can co-teach with you. This is going to be good. And then you're going to outline with them, even if it's just via email, because heaven knows we don't have time for meetings during the summer. But outline with them what it might look like. So it'd be like, I'm going to teach this portion of the course, and you're going to teach this portion of the class, and here's what I'm really good at, and here's what you're really good at. And you're going to contact him or her, of course, before the school year begins. So you can really talk about this, even if the communication is just via text message, just to get the conversation going, because you're going to need that in the fall. You could also consider creating a speech club. Some people call these like the 5-minute RTIC. I like to do them, they're a 5-minute RTIC, but they're in a small group. So that way the kids are actually challenging each other on their articulation sounds and judging each other as well. But before you can do that, you're going to need to decide when, where, and how often your speech club is going to meet. Maybe they're only going to meet twice a week. Maybe they're going to meet 5 days a week. But where are they going to meet and when are they going to meet? When I've done this in the past, I have the most luck doing it at the very beginning of the school day and with students who are literate, where they can read their targeted words or their targeted sentences and don't need help from me. That's what tends to work better for me for a speech club. You're also going to need to write up some rules for the speech club and send home a letter to their family and their teacher. Their teacher and their families need to know that they're working in small doses intensively on their speech sound every single day or almost every day, and that they should expect homework that they're practicing at school and at home on any given day to make the most progress. Okay, another idea for switching things up is to consider co-teaching with your SPED teacher. You should be contacting your special education teacher, deciding on the best students to co-teach with. For me, I like to co-teach in terms of social skills with my special education teacher. However, I've also done it with language when she's teaching reading lessons and they're doing a lot of book reading activities, and I come in and I help teach those and we work on comprehension strategies. Or you can do it with phonics, right? If they're learning phonics and they're also an articulation kid, it's a great time to co-teach. You're going to need to brainstorm with your special education teacher on how the best way to do this is. Don't expect that they're going to like your very first idea, but they might like your third idea, right? So you're going to have to work together and make this feel like it's a really collaborative process. Okay, ready? My to-do list for today. I'm going to count my blessings. I'm going to practice kindness. I'm going to let go of what I can't control. I'm going to be productive, but calm, and I'm just going to breathe. Okay, now that we've had a breather, we're going to tackle that thing called to-do lists. You ready? Okay, I like to call this type of to-do list my evergreen list because it never goes away. It just keeps coming back over and over and over on some kind of cycle. So we got our yearly cycle, our quarterly cycle, our monthly cycle, our weekly cycle, and our daily cycle. Your yearly cycle might include things like creating your caseload, writing your letters home, cleaning out your files, creating data sheets for all your kiddos, writing down the school calendar, and organizing your themes. Your quarterly evergreen lists, on the other hand, might look like progress monitoring every quarter, progress reports every quarter, and updating your caseload so that it's all up to date with the right names and IEP dates. Your monthly to-do list could be planning your IEPs, doing any Medicaid billing that you need to do, checking in with your teachers, writing your reports, lesson planning for the month, and doing any supervision logs for SLPAs if you have any. Your weekly to-do list could be preparing for meetings, setting up all your materials for the week, keeping your data up to date, and putting away all the unused materials. You do not need to keep those out for more than a week. And finally, your daily to-do list, right? You're going to pull out your materials every day. You're going to review your lesson plans. And if you're someone who gives out homework every time a kiddo comes into speech, you're going to get those all ready to go so you can hand them out. You're also going to have some tasks, okay? So we have our to-do list and then we have tasks. So tasks are step-by-step procedures in a project. They are small and doable, usually in a short period of time. And they are the best things to be checking off as you go. So here's an example, right? A webinar like this one. I need to create my slides, and then I need to edit my slides. I need to add pictures, make a web page, advertise, etc. Right? So it's every single little step. It's a schedule within a schedule. Another schedule within a schedule task list is something like drawing your room, buying the organizational pieces, creating posters, and then at the end, your room is ready to go. Remember, these are going to be small and doable. For the most part, you want to stick to 30 minutes or less for every single item. And you want to be as specific as possible about each item. Don't just say, go to the store. Say what you're going to do in the store. And then you're going to be able to schedule or check them off. One way to do this is to actually put them on your calendar. At 9 o'clock, I'm going to set up my microphone. At 9:30, I'm going to email everyone who registered for the webinar. At 10 o'clock, I'm going to call Jen so she can walk me through this. And at 10:30, I'm going to actually rehearse. And then you can check each portion off of your task list. Okay, that was a lot, right? But if you don't know where you're going, you're going to end up someplace else. So I want you to think, and I'd love you to email me with with the answer to this question. Which of these ideas do you think is going to help you the most this year? So think about that for a minute. Hey guys, do you need accountability to organize? Do you need deadlines to get you started? Are you ready for a fabulous year but feel really confused about what to do first? If you said yes to any of these questions, then you are probably ready for the Organized SLP. This is my one time per year class where I engage video modeling, tons of resources, a Facebook community, and coaching from myself to get you the most organized SLP that you possibly can. I can help you have your best year yet. Introducing the Organized SLP, which is a hands-on video-based course for motivated speech pathologists who want to start their school year organized and well prepared. I'm going to give you step-by-step directions through 4 different organizational systems, including lifetime access to my videos, materials, and templates. Every year, I have previous students who ask, can I join the course again? It was so great last year. I'd like to have a refresher. And the answer is always yes. Once you've gotten into the course and once you're one of my students, you're one of my students for life. You're going to get over $100 of high quality materials from my store, which was one of the very first speech pathology stores on Teachers Pay Teachers. You're going to get a community of supportive students in an exclusive Facebook group. You're going to get hand-holding, encouragement, and coaching by your best cheerleader, me. Here's what some previous students have had to say. The Organized SLP course has given me the tools and confidence to develop both goals and a solid game plan to have a truly efficient and successful school year. It is definitely worth a subscription to invest in yourself and your students. These are the lessons they never taught you in grad school. Here's what the 4 modules look like in this course. Now, each module is designed to take approximately 2 weeks in time, so that overall the whole course is about 8 weeks long. Because it's a video-based course, you can choose to take the course faster or slower depending on your needs. In Module 1, we're going to prepare for the school year. So we're going to talk about yearly goals, monthly goals, weekly goals, and daily goals. And it's going to kickstart you into gear by making some pretty big organization and habitual changes to your life as a speech pathologist. In Module 2, we're going to start preparing for our students. So we're going to talk about student files, leveling, preparing teachers and parents, and some of the backbones to scheduling. So this module is going to really dig into the teachers, parents, and students and how you can best provide for all of them. In Module 3, you're going to work on lesson planning and materials. So in here, you're going to work on preparing, organizing your materials overall, all your materials, lesson planning, and then organizing materials into monthly themes. We're going to talk about several organizational methods and a simple way to create some lesson plans. And in Module 4, you're going to prepare for IEPs and evaluations. So we're going to talk about our advanced planning, which is really important, teacher and parent input, informal testing, and writing the IEP. So in this module, we're really going to learn how to rock out a data-driven informal assessment and IEP. You're going to get some bonuses. You're going to get coaching whenever you need it. 24/7, you can email me. I'll get back to you when I'm awake, but I will always email you back. You're going to get an exclusive online Facebook community. You're going to get over $100 worth of materials from Superpower Speech, including a $60 shopping spree, where you literally get to go into my store on Teachers Pay Teachers and find $60 worth of materials that you handpick and request from me, and I deliver. So here's a few FAQs. When does the course begin? Well, as soon as you can register, you can actually begin the lessons, right? So our Facebook community will start on a particular date, and you'll get that information once you enroll. But as soon as you enroll, you can start on Module 1 and the welcome. What if I'm on vacation, right? Everyone goes on vacation. Heaven knows I'm going on vacation this summer. You have lifetime access to the materials and lessons. So even though I recommend you complete the entire course before you start back at work, you can choose to move at your own pace. Am I going to get CEUs? Well, unfortunately, ASHA CEU providers have to go through a whole rigmarole process, and it's very expensive, and there's a lot of paperwork, and you actually have to be an organization with a subcommittee, and I'm not. I'm just me. So I can't offer you CEUs, but I will offer you a certificate of completion, which your state or district might give you credit for, and if you really look into it, you might even be able to get some CEU credit from ASHA, but that's going to depend on how you present it to them. Okay, so you're like, what's the cost of this fabulous course? Well, the full price of this course is $250. But because you watch this video, I'm going to allow you a coupon for $100 off. So it's $150. And you can get even extra savings if you are a new grad or if you enroll with 3 of your best buddies and make it a group of 4 or more. Ugh. That's a lot of money, right? You're like, I don't have a lot of money. I work on a, teacher pay scale. Is this really worth it? So let me break it down for you, okay? The video lessons themselves are worth $300. The materials in the lessons are worth $50. The materials that you get to do your shopping spree from my store are worth $60. The Facebook community, where I'm going to lead and guide you through a lot of great collaboration, is worth $100. The coaching from me is worth at least $300. So your total value for this course is $810. And so if you apply that coupon, you're getting a savings of $660. Guys, this is it. You need to start your school year confident, prepared, and organized. It is time to enroll, get your life on track, and as one of my former students said, $150 is sure a lot cheaper than going to counseling. To get access to the coupon codes, you're going to need to email me, Cherie, C-H-E-R-I, at superpowerspeech.com. And at that time, I will provide you the coupon code for the regular I watched this video coupon code, or the I'm a new grad coupon code, or the I'm in a group of 4 or more coupon code. Thanks so much for watching this, guys, and I am so excited for you to be some of my next students in the Organized SLP.